mic. Yeah. All I need is one mic. Yeah. All I need is one mic.
Hey everybody, welcome to One Mic, and today I'm here to talk about Season 4, Episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Amazon Prime Video's The Boys. It's been just over 2 years since the premiere of Season 3. Prime Video's, I think, arguably most popular show is now returning for its 4th season. At this point, we've come to know what to expect of The Boys, and now other shows within the universe as well, like Gen V. We generally know what kind of show we're going to be getting when we walk in the door. And I think that's kind of a gift and a curse. It's a gift in that you can rely on The Boys or Gen V to invariably be the same show every season. A raunchy and violent superhero show with a ton of socio-political commentary and dicks. A whole lot of dicks. But if you're someone like me, you can become bored with that. So you want a show to continue to challenge itself and push itself to be better every season rather than just becoming comfortable. You still expect it to deliver on all of those things that it's supposed to, but you just expect it to also grow and improve. And these first 3 episodes kind of felt like the opposite of that. This felt like we're comfortable doing what we do, so we're not going to try quite as hard to impress you anymore. That's kind of what these first 3 felt like. I'm not entirely down on the first 3. I think this A-plot with Victoria Newman becoming vice president and the idea of a bad guy suit becoming president, there's a lot of cool stuff they can do with that. But these subplots, man, I don't know, guys. Like, these subplots felt like some really uninspired and lazy writer's room conversations that were just like, what should we do with Huey this season? I don't know. Let's just have his long-lost mom return. Or what about Kimiko? Maybe have her go after a child trafficking ring and have her long-lost sister return. like we're doing the long-lost relatives like this? Like, yeah, sure, we don't know for sure that's her sister, but have you ever heard of Occam's razor? Because it states that the simplest explanation is probably the correct one. And I feel like the writers have probably heard of that because that seems to be kind of like their writing strategy for this season. Make the go in the obvious direction. What about Deep? Shit, I don't know. Let's just have him fuck some more fish. Like, come on, man. And Homelander, midlife crisis? Like, I mean, as someone who is literally going through that bitch right now, I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch that on TV, dog. Like, it's uninteresting. Should we bring in some new characters for the 7? Yeah, how about Firecracker? Cool, what's her motivation? Annie was a bitch to her when they were kids. Come on, man. Like, that's her whole villain fucking origin story? Like, you shit-talked me when we were kids? Like, these subplots leave a lot to be desired, man. And you know, that scene where Firecracker tells Annie why she hates her, Firecracker's like, yeah, I'm gonna let everybody know that you're not super sweet and that really deep down, you're kind of a bitch. And Annie's bawling like Firecracker just threatened to decapitate her puppy. And I'm just like, what has happened to this show? Like, that's not even a thing. Like, why would you respond like that? Man, what, like, oh, man. One of these episodes had another one of those scenes where the violence is replaced by something cute, and even that wasn't that good. Like, that technique is played out. Like I said up top, you got to try to keep improving and do better. If you're going to keep doing that same concept, try to improve upon the last time you did it. Don't just fucking mail it in like you did in this episode. Like, what the fuck was that, man? It was so lazy. Like, bubbles and rubber duckies and shit. And they didn't even shoot it up close to where, like, you get, like, a cool neck slash and rubber duckies and bubbles flying out. It was, like, from far as shit where Fritchie was at, you could barely see it. Sometimes she, like, slashes at somebody and nothing happens. I'm just like, dog. This just felt so lazy. And speaking of laziness and simple choices, like, please don't tell me any of you were surprised when Sister Sage got the drop on Frenchie and Kimiko and I think Mother's Milk, whoever was all at the hotel or whatever. Like, they followed her all the way to this event at this hotel, and I'm like, the show has already established that she is the smartest person on earth. Not the smartest woman, the smartest person. Am I supposed to believe she'd be this easily tailed and that this isn't a setup? And even as they're walking into the hotel, I'm watching the show, I spoke out loud at my TV. I hope they don't I hope they expect this to be a setup, because if they don't. But no, the writers did the really obvious thing, and ta-da, it was a trap. Surprise? No, of course not. Like, my 7-year-old could have written a twist where the smartest person on Earth figures out what's going on. Like what the fuck, dog? Oh my goodness, man. It was some stuff. So we have a new Black Noir. He's unfunny and annoying. Replacing the former Black Noir, who is scary and cool. And it's like, I get what they're going for here, but if you're gonna do this, he has to actually be funny. But like, this guy is annoying to both the Seven and the audience. Like, he's not good at all. And I'm just like, man, give me the cool. Well, you can't give me the cool, quiet Black Noir, but Black Noir was menacing, and now he's a joke and an unfunny one at that. And then these episodes, they felt long and largely uneventful. This is an 8-episode season, so we've seen almost half of it already, and I'm not particularly impressed with anything that they've laid out so far. But it's enough of me complaining about it for the time being. Let's get to talk about what happened in this episode. Hey everybody, I just want to take a small break from this review to talk about the various other ways you can engage with me on other platforms. If you're so inclined, and I understand why you wouldn't, I am an acquired taste, but you can join the Patreon where you can get extra content like retro reviews, where I review old shows and movies to see if they still hold up today, Mike's Musings, where I talk about shows I'm watching that I don't cover on the channel, or Mike's VOD, where you can commission me to watch a show, which I will then review on the channel. And if you want to engage with me and chat with me more directly, I also implore you to join the Discord and follow the Facebook page. I set up channels in the Discord for all of us to discuss the shows I'm reviewing on the channel, and I also drop new videos in there since it's the easiest platform for me to share to from my phone. The Facebook can be really fun because I sort of live comment on shows I'm watching, often while under the influence, I'm not going to lie. And I'll also share news there, both about television and film, and about myself as well. So if you like my content, you want to be more engaged, you think I'm charming, or you simply want to show support, feel free to sign up for the Patreon or join the Discord or Facebook today. Links to all platforms are in every video description. Remember to share all my shit to your respective social media platforms. And now back to this review. So the season opens with a fairly long sequence where we see what amounts to the boys, now led by Mother's Milk, trying to take out Victoria Newman, who's on the cusp of becoming vice president. Apparently, she's invincible now. Which again kind of felt like a lazy writer's room kind of conversation. What can we have happen that makes it so that they can't get her? I don't know, make her invincible. Like, the fuck, man? Anyway, Singer and Newman, they do become president and vice president-elect. And it's Singer himself who actually wants Newman dead. And they set this up in episode 1, and then I don't think we see that plot at all in episode 2 before we revisit it again at the end of episode 3. And this is one of the few things that intrigued me in the first episode, along with whatever they brought in Jeffrey Dean Morgan for. And guess who else didn't appear in episode 2 and then returned briefly in episode 3? Exactly, yes, the two most interesting things that they set up in episode 1 were ignored in the next episode and then briefly returned in the third one. But, I mean, hey, what do I know, right? I don't write fucking TV shows. Of course, Homelander is always one of the most compelling characters on the show, and I was being slightly facetious when I said his storyline is merely about him having a midlife crisis, but it's not terribly much beyond that. He's butting heads with Ryan due to his general disdain for humanity, and it's pushing Ryan closer to Butcher. I do like this storyline. I like it for both of them. I like it for Homelander. I like it for Butcher too. This quest to protect Ryan from becoming Homelander, and then the idea that Jeffrey Dean Morgan throws out of kind of like, his name was Kessler, by the way, a cheap whiskey that I used to drink back when I didn't have any money. He throws out the idea basically like, we got to be prepared to put him down if he's going to end up going in a Homelander direction. I like that. That's a good place to go. That's pretty good. Homelander is also involved in the most interesting aspect set up so far overall, and that's the orchestration of this coup. Now, there's an aspect I don't like. I don't like how the show is leaning more into Homelander being Trump and his fans being like the far right QAnon people, but like, and it's not because I feel like it's unfair to any party. It's just mainly because they're being so on the nose about it. And again, it's just feeling really lazy at this point. But having said that, I do like the idea of Homelander pitting people against each other with the help of the smartest person in the world. And I think Sister Sage is a great addition to this group and to the show, because we all know that the Seven is largely stupid as fuck, and they're definitely a bunch of sycophants, just like he said. So pairing someone as ruthless as Homelander with someone as smart as Sister Sage could make for some really good moments. But I gotta admit, given how predictable everything's been so far, I don't have the highest hopes. But I'm open to what they're gonna do there. Also, they're doing the Homelander has to stop caring about being loved thing again for the 89th time. So there's that too. So it's a mixed bag with Homelander. Some good stuff, some bad stuff. Butcher, he's still dying, and he largely spends the first 3 episodes going back and forth with Mother's Milk about whether or not he should be on the team. He doesn't really make a play for it until I think the end of the second episode, but constant, everyone wants him gone. Huey wants him to stay. Marvin's really pressing to get him out of there. Doesn't take him back even after he saves him. And I was interested in whatever they got going on with Butcher and Kessler, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character, but they didn't really do shit with that over the first 3 episodes, so I don't know. He does eventually get a great scene with Ryan, still talking about Butcher here, where he confesses about being scared to die before he can make things right with him. I thought that was a really good scene, but that was really it, just him telling Mother's Milk how he's not fit to run the team, and then Mother's Milk telling me we can't get back on. It was mostly that, and then you throw in the good scene with Ryan. Fritchie and Kimiko have their own subplots separate from each other, which I would have thought I wanted until I got it. I mean, these subplots aren't bad necessarily, but I feel like I like them more as a pair than with these individual subplots, and I didn't know that until they got individual subplots. Though with Kimiko, again, too on the nose for me. The QAnon people accusing the left of child trafficking, and there was something about a pizza place and Hillary Clinton. Like, they're drawing directly from that, and it's very, like, one-to-one. It's not creative at all. Like, South Park does this same kind of thing, but they do it creatively. This feels like we're just gonna do the exact thing that's happening. Like, I don't know, man. Having a long-lost relative appear, again, doing that along with Huey having the same thing going on with his mom, it's just not good, man. Frenchie has a subplot where he's falling for this guy named Colin, but he can't because he killed Colin's family. I guess that's fine as a plot, not as an action to do. I'm semi-curious to see why, but at least I don't think that one's dumb. Mother's Milk, he's trying to flip A-Train, and that's pretty interesting. I like the idea of A-Train becoming one of the boys. Also, we don't get it this week, but I don't wonder if we'll see I wonder if we're gonna see Mother's Milk have the conversation with his daughter about what happened to Todd. That's what I was trying to get out there. That would be a good scene. But the stuff with A-Train stealing the video footage to exonerate the people who were accused of killing Todd and others, and him and others, almost getting caught, A-Train almost getting caught, him having to save Huey from Homelander, all that stuff I thought was pretty good. A-Train and Deep have been very underserved on this show, Deep more so than A-Train, but if they're going to work an angle where A-Train might flip and people are going to be getting on to him, I think that could be pretty good. To that point, that specific scene of Huey spying on Homelander and Sister Sage and Newman, I thought that was a really good one with the sweat drops, and then as soon as he smells it and he knows it's Huey and then immediately lasers through the air ducts, I thought that was a really good scene. I also like Sister Sage as a character, conceptually. Like, a brilliant person working with the Seven, I think, is a really great idea. It can help them maximize their evil. I hope they utilize her well this season. Firecracker, on the other hand, not so much. Like I said, that motivation is it's not there. Starlight is, of course, affiliated with the main plot line about the coup because it's her fans that represent the far left in this scenario. I'm kind of curious about this because what kind of role is she going to play? Like, we know Homelander's role with his people is just going to be throwing gas on the fire. But is Annie going to end up, like, inadvertently doing that as well with her side? Or is she going to intentionally do that? That interests me. So, I mean, yeah, all in all, I wasn't very impressed with these first 3 episodes. Really basic storylines, unimaginative, lazy character arcs, weak twists and big moments, predictable. Not a good start. If you were looking for a man who can clone himself and then do like a human centipede of ass eating on himself, then you probably love these first 3 episodes. But yeah, I was a bit disappointed. So let me know what you thought in the comments, and until next week, peace.